All right, welcome back, everybody. Sarcasm Speaks. Jared and Bob here, flying at you on a cold-ass fucking Wednesday morning. It fucking snowed again. Well, I mean,
Some
snow fell from the sky.
Some of
this
us have a
morning.
job and had to, be up. And
There's like less than a fucking inch out there.
it was nothing.
Yeah.
Actually, so I warmed up my car with the defrosters, and both windows were clear in like 4 minutes.
Yeah. But yeah, it was funny that I woke up and I was like, man, shit.
I did have to brush the side windows though. That was actually required brushing.
Yeah. So I guess we kick this off and say I think the stonkpocalypse is over.
Yeah, it seems to have been squashed.
Yeah. Weird. Hedge funds won.
Yeah, big banking won.
The guys with billions and billions of dollars have more pull than the common folk. That's strange.
Well, it's like that's the thing. Like everyone's like, it's a free market. Yeah, but the market's controlled by the rich people.
Right.
It is free still, except
Yes.
for someone needs to present the market.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
those that present the market technically control it. So it's not a free market. Never was, never will be.
Right. Right.
Theoretically, it's free, except you literally, you can't just, go down the street and obtain shares.
Right. Right. You need a broker.
And the brokers are the ones that are technically in control.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see if any of these lawsuits stick.
I mean,
Probably
saw it.
not.
We saw it last week. They all literally stopped trading. Or I'm sorry, they stopped buying. They
Yeah, you couldn't
allowed you.
buy.
They allowed you to sell. At least in the case of Robinhood.
There's a lot of them.
There was a few of them, but you could only sell the meme stocks and you couldn't buy them. And then as of Wednesday morning at like 8:30, I think GameStop was all GameStop.
Dude, you cannot.
I can't say that
GME,
word.
you can't say this fucking word.
GameStop was down to I think less than $90, whereas last week it was up over 400.
Yep. So as of today, Robinhood's list of restricted is
Yeah.
only AMC and GME.
Yeah.
It took Nokia off the list, Naked off the list, Koss. I don't know what Koss is.
It was like a headphone company.
Best Buy, BlackBerry, all those are off the list now.
Yeah. Yeah, Nokia's down. I sold my Nokia. Where's GameStop? GameStop right now is at $88.82.
Yep.
So it's AMC is down to $8, whereas before it was up to 20, and prior to that it was at like $1 and change. So there was some people that made some solid quiche out of this, but I was not one of them, and neither was Portnoy. I figured it was all done yesterday when Portnoy tweeted out that he sold all of his shares and everything for a quick little $700,000 loss. I was like, holy shit, dude. So he put in $1 million into all of these stocks, and he lost 70% of his investment. So once he tweeted that out, I looked at that as, well, now everyone's going to get out because he's
out.
Because he's out. So I sold. I mean, I only bought like $30-ish of Nokia anyway, just because it's what I had available in the account. Like I wasn't going to deposit money into the account to then buy shit, but I had like $30 like just sitting there uninvested. So I just put it all in Nokia, and I lost probably, I don't know, $6-7 out of it. So it didn't really crush me. Not that I was planning on getting rich anyway, but if I'd kind of hoped like maybe turn the 30 into 60 and then invest the 60 in something else, like snowball it a little bit, but obviously that's not happening. But the stonks might be done. Unless
Silver might be done too.
Unless we hop on Wall Street Bets on Reddit and find new stocks. But then who's to say that the same thing's just not going to happen again? That, Wall Street's just going to shut down trading and do all that shit. So I don't know. It's a little discouraging. Not necessarily like on a personal level. Like I said, like I'm not planning on getting fucking rich off of playing stock market here. Like extreme short term. Like I'm not trying to like day trade and flip stuff and get rich that way. I think anyone that's their plan is
Hope you went to school for it.
yeah, is severely misled with all this information.
Or really know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah, because all those people that would have had to have made tons of money on GameStop would have had to invest back in like the summertime. Like, you know, July, August, maybe September when it was around, you know, $20, $30 a share. Because even before it blew up in January to 400, I think in like by November, December, it was up around 50, which still 50 to 400 is a lot. That's what,
it's down 135 bucks.
200
today
and something
alone.
percent. No, 50 to 400. It's like an 800% increase, which is still a lot. But, you know, it all depends on what you put in and all that shit. But, you know, anyone that's, like I said, anyone that's planning on just flipping meme stocks and getting rich immediately, I'm sorry. You're probably wrong and you're probably an idiot.
On January 8th, it was $17 a share.
Wow.
On the 15th, it became 35. And then, according to Robinhood, on the 27th, it got to 347.
Wow. At one point, it was up over 400.
Probably.
It might have
Probably
closed.
before-
It probably closed at 327.
Yeah.
On that day, but I think during that day, it was trading up over 400. Yeah, I mean, there were plenty of people that did make money. I saw this one thing. There was a college kid who, they didn't say how much money he made off of GameStop, but he sold all his shares and then spent a portion of his money buying a fuck ton of Nintendo Switches, and then he brought them to a children's hospital that was like nearby.
That's not bad.
Yeah. So, you know, there are some good people still left in the world. You know, they didn't give any specifics, and I forget what children's hospital it was, so I don't even know like where in the country he was. But yeah, college kid made a fuck ton of money and said, I'm going to buy Switches and give them to kids that are in the hospital. So
There was a guy on Twitter that caught light of the Wall Street bet stuff
yeah.
and said, hey, invest in this shit now. When you win, donate it all to charity.
Yeah.
So it's like he knew what was up.
Right.
Because it wasn't like, you know, hey, make a bunch of money, sell it, and whatever. He goes, here, let's make some money for charity. Here you go. Here's the stocks you need to buy.
Right. Right.
Which actually, I don't know. He's still high on Nokia for whatever fucking reason. Couldn't tell you why.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or I think he was high on Nokia regardless of what happened to them.
Yeah. Was that Incarcerated Bob?
No, some other guy.
different
I
guy.
don't know. Dan Lifshatz
Oh, yeah.
tweeted at him or something.
So we also got some kind of sad news, but for different reasons. One is because we missed. We swung and missed. Dustin Diamond died. Who, if you're out there, like, who the fuck is Dustin Diamond? That's Screech from Saved by the Bell. He died a couple days ago now at this point. Yeah, I think he might have died yesterday was Tuesday. Monday? 44 years old, so obviously pretty fucking young. I didn't even catch what he died from. Was it cancer?
I have no idea.
Might have been some kind of cancer.
Regardless of what it was, it's probably COVID now.
Yeah, we got to backdate it to COVID.
Yep.
But yeah, so we missed him. We missed him on the pool. Not that I would have put Dustin Diamond on my fucking death pool anyway, but it's always like those weird little like, hey, weird. This is the people you don't expect to die are the ones that die.
Go figure.
Yeah, go figure, huh? But it's like one of those, like, I think you did a pretty good job of covering those bases this year. Like when you threw Britney Spears and fuck, who else did you have in there? I think I have it on my phone.
I had Mike Ditka. I remember that.
Yeah. The death pool. Yeah, you had Jack Ma, Jimmy Carter, Joe Biden, Britney Spears.
Have they found Jack Ma yet?
I think so. Yeah. I think he popped back up recently. But yeah, I think you did probably the best job of covering those like random. I tried to include that in there when I had Lil Wayne. Just to have like some random young person, because there's always going to be young people that die like randomly. So I don't know.
I don't know anything.
I don't know anything anymore. You know what I do know though is the perils of Joe Biden's presidency are just kind of continuing at this point. I saw this morning. There was an article published by the Associated Press, which I feel like as far as news outlets go, I mean, it's not down the middle. Let's not pretend that any news outlet is down the middle at this point. But it's probably like close to center left. The Associated Press, they are pissed off now at Joe Biden because there have been hundreds of deportations in the first few days of the Biden presidency after he campaigned on stopping deportations altogether. So now everyone's like, well, what the fuck, Joe?
Well, this is on, again, people forgot for 4 years.
Yep.
People forgot that politicians lie. They're basically just fucking con artists.
Yep.
People forgot.
Yeah. People forget.
People actually forgot this
Chris
time.
Hogan played lacrosse.
People actually fucking forget this time.
Yeah. People forget Pat Mahomes' dad played baseball. We're going to get... How many times are we going to get that during the Super Bowl this year?
Who fucking knows?
The stories on Pat Mahomes' dad playing baseball for the Mets.
And would he give up the home run to the Braves?
Yeah. Or was he a pitcher? I thought he was.
I thought he pitched.
Yeah. I think he was, maybe now. I for some reason I thought he might have played second base, but he was probably a pitcher.
I don't know. Well, remember, Pat Mahomes, is he the third?
Maybe. I don't know.
Remember, he couldn't play second base because he threw the ball too hard.
Oh, that's what it was. That's why second base stuck in my brain.
Pat Mahomes is the second, so... Yeah. Pat Mahomes Sr. did pitch.
Gave up the home run to the Braves.
I think so. I don't know. I feel like that was a thing.
Yeah, I feel like Nikos has said that before.
Did the Twins make a World Series?
Yeah. The 90s, right? 93? No. Was that Toronto in 93? I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know now.
I know the Twins did make a World Series in the 90s. I don't know what year, though. So the other thing about that is, so obviously everyone, like, people are starting to cover, like, the misgivings of Biden so far, and why they're pissed off. But a report was just released this week that said in the first week of Joe Biden's presidency and following Donald Trump being fucking scrubbed from the entire internet, CNN's ratings are down 44%, almost cut in half of what they were, for the previous 4 years.
Victory lap.
So here we go. Here's the beginnings of our victory lap, because we sat here and we called it, and I said it. I said, cool, you're going to get rid of Donald Trump?
You have nothing to talk about.
Now you have nothing to talk about, which kind of makes me a little uneasy, because I feel like not yet, because they're not desperate yet, because they did have so much success for 4 years, but they're going to get to a point where they're hurting like real bad, and then they might start like grasping for straws. You know what I mean? Like they might start to like create some fucked up stories and shit just so they can have something to report and like get people to watch the news again.
It ain't gonna happen. People aren't gonna watch the news.
I mean, if they can,
what would have to? What do you think would have to happen?
If they contrive some crazy fucking thing, like another pandemic or more COVID shit, like they're gonna like hype up COVID and make it worse, so like people have to watch news again. You know what I mean? Or like find something. They're gonna find something to try. I'm not saying that it's definitely gonna work, but they're gonna try. They're a business. I mean, they're not just gonna like lay down and let their business fail. they're going to try certain things and they're going to start reporting fucked up bullshit.
I don't think people have time for that shit anymore. The election's over. That bubble burst.
You have a lot more faith than I do. I think they're going to try something fucked up. Like they're going to report some crazy fucking story. Like they need eyeballs. So they're just going to start doing crazy shit or saying dumb shit just to get eyeballs.
I don't know. I just like, because even like with the COVID stuff, like what are they going to do? Bring Fauci on? They've already done that.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? New COVID?
They're trying. They're trying new COVID.
I know they are.
They're calling it the UK strand of COVID.
Well, there's the UK, there's South African, there's Brazilian, there's California.
How come we don't get an American strain?
Well, we have the California strain. California's got its own.
Yeah, cool.
Unique strain.
Cool. Thanks, Newsom. Thanks, Kevin. He's going to be fucked soon. They might actually recall him. I don't know where that like the votes are right now.
Can't believe they haven't already.
But they have to be close. Like a month ago, they were like more than halfway. They had like 60% of the votes they needed. The old CEO of Google, or no, someone that used to work for Google is going to run for governor of California. And there was one other person too. Major Wright, his name is. I don't know.
The D-back they played at Florida?
Yeah, no.
And then for the Bears?
His name is Major something. Maybe it's Major Williamson.
Oh.
I don't know. But Major Wright was an NFL player. That's funny. Yeah, because I heard people say it like Major Williamson or whatever the fuck his name is, and I go, "Oh, is he like in the military?" And I looked him up, and I go, "No, his first name is just Major.
He's just a guy.
He's just a guy whose name is Major." But we also had Jeff Bezos announce that he is stepping down as CEO of Amazon.
Why? Just doesn't want to do it anymore?
I don't know. It hasn't come out yet. It seems very strange to me. He's pretty much peak. This is like peak Bezos. Like Amazon is fucking crushing it. But the one thing I will say though is he announced he's stepping down in Q3 of this year. So he'll be gone by August. But he's going to take over as the chairman of the board on Amazon. So he's literally getting a promotion.
Oh, so that's why he's stepping down.
Everyone's flipping out like, oh my God, Bezos is stepping down as CEO of Amazon. It's like, yeah. Read the full article. It says he's stepping down as CEO to become chairman of the board of directors. Like, when you're a CEO of a company, you only have one boss, and that's the board. Well, technically, multiple is the board, the entire board. But the chairman of the board leads the board. So theoretically, as a CEO, you only have one boss, and it's the chairman of the board of directors. So he's leaving the CEO position and becoming the chairman of the board. So he's getting a promotion. Although, like,
good for him. He's probably earned it.
Is he like giving himself a promotion? Like, how does that work? Like, how do you decide like, oh, I'm leaving as CEO and I'm taking, is it like Manifest Destiny? Like I'm taking over the position of chairman of the board.
Well, it's a publicly traded company. So the board, like it's owned by obviously the shareholders. So the board would have had to have voted him as the new chairperson.
Yeah.
And by voting you new chairperson, you need to step down from CEO. You can't be both.
Right. So I don't know how it works. Do boards of directors get paid for being that position?
I don't know if they like receive a salary, but they're obviously stakeholders in the company.
Right. Yeah, because I know that just like my company, I happen to also just I work for a nonprofit, so it could be totally different. But I know our board of directors doesn't get paid for being on the board.
No, but they also have a job, or they just...
Yeah, they're all like doctors and lawyers and real estate agents. And I think the chairman
So they're
of our
volunteering
board,
their time.
Yeah, I think the chairman of our board is like a neurologist at like Brigham and Women's or fucking something like that.
Yeah, so that they're volunteering their time, unless they have some kind of other motive for doing so.
Yeah.
which I don't want to like imply. I'm just they might.
Yeah.
But I don't know if a big company like that pays board members.
Right.
Because why would he take a board position unless it comes with more like, I don't know, more stock options? I don't even know how many he has.
Yeah. I mean, he's worth billions.
I know. He definitely didn't take a pay cut, I'll tell you that much.
No. You know what would be funny though is, now I don't know the whole settlement between him and Mackenzie Bezos or whatever her name is now, his ex-wife. But it would be kind of a baller move if he stepped down as CEO to like stop receiving a salary. Be like, oh, well, I don't get paid anything now, so you get $0 of my salary.
Don't you worry. There's protections against that. Because he has to make money somehow.
Yeah.
Also, it did sound as though that was already like settled. Like,
I think it was paid out in one single
like she
payment.
took half and took it and gone.
Right. That's what I think happened also. So there's been some other rumors out there that he's interested in buying an NFL team.
Yeah, and he wouldn't be able to be the CEO of a company like that.
Right. So there is something coming. There's something in the pipeline for Bezos.
Are any NFL
this.
teams up for sale? Or potential sale?
So there's 3 potentials.
Who are they?
So the Seahawks, obviously, Paul Allen died a couple years ago, and it's being run by his family. I don't know how interested they are in continuing it. It's not. So the 3 teams that I'm about to mention, I read a whole article on this about Bezos and these teams. None of them are up for sale currently, but they have been ones that have been identified as potential for Bezos to purchase. The first one was the Seahawks, because Paul Allen just died, and now the team's being run by his family, and they don't know if the family actually has interest in doing this or if they're willing to sell or whatever.
Plus, that's West Coast.
Yep. And it would go from Microsoft guy, like a tech guy, a guy from Silicon Valley and all that, to another tech guy in Bezos. The other one was the Denver Broncos, because Pat Bowlen just died recently, I think last year. And his family is now running it, and the Broncos franchise is kind of sputtering in the last couple of years. Like, it's not really doing much. So I don't know.
What do you mean the Don isn't doing his job?
Yeah, they gave him a union. What is it? Like a union promotion, where like anyone that works in a union and you suck at your job, in order to get them out of that position, they have to just promote them. So John Elway was the GM of the Denver Broncos, and they, quote, promoted him to the president of like football operations, and then hired a new GM.
A better GM.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's like a quarterback whisperer.
Yeah. So they were like, yeah, Elway, you kind of suck at this, but like we can't really fire you because you're John Elway and everything you've done for the franchise and like whatever. And also Pat Bowlen's dead, so the family probably doesn't want to fire him because he probably handles most of it. And they're like, Elway, you take over more of like the operations side, and we'll hire someone to do the football stuff because you're not so good at that. That's the good old union promotion. You can't get fired, so we'll promote you out of the position so someone else can do it better, and we'll fire your incompetency up the ladder. And the third one was the Washington football team, because there's rumors that Dan Snyder might be forced to sell the team because he is a dog shit human being.
He's terrible. And
all of the controversy that's been surrounding him and the team and the name and all this shit. So they said that the NFL might pull a what was that guy? Jerry Richardson, the previous owner of the Panthers, yeah, and kind of collectively get together and be like bully him essentially into selling the team, because that's what happened to Richardson. Like every single owner in the NFL was like, "You need to sell your team right now."
There's probably a protection where they can actually force you to sell.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, if you're considered a detriment to the league, like conduct detrimental to the league.
Yeah, there has to be something.
Which is what Jerry Richardson did. He was a fucking dirtbag too. Not that, let's be real. Not that any of these guys that own NFL teams are good people.
Nope. Typically not.
Yeah.
Wait. Are you mean to tell me that old white people aren't good people?
Old rich white men.
Nah, there can't be anything wrong with that population.
Yeah. Except for one, right? The guy that owns the Jaguars, Shad Khan, but he's an oil baron, so from Saudi Arabia or something like that.
He is for sure not white.
Yeah. I think he's the only one. He's the only.
I don't know who owns the Lions. It could be a woman.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a few female owners.
So
in the league,
vast majority is.
But they're still rich and old and white. Man or woman, they're still rich, old, and white.
What do you mean? Women are better than men, right?
Like
when they're rich and old.
Yeah, like I think the wife of McNair technically owns the Texans, but Cal McNair runs it, or the son.
Good organization there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, technically, actually, realistically, Jack Easterby runs the Texans.
The chaplain.
Cal McNair is the puppet, and Jack Easterby is the marionette guy pulling the fucking strings. But then, whatever her name is, Mrs. McNair is probably the name that's on the checks. So, like, that's no wonder why that organization's in shambles. You got one person that is on paper who runs it. You have another person that is supposed to be running it in the sun, and then you have a third person who's actually doing everything, who's like the Wizard of Oz, like behind the curtain. Oh man. So there's that. How did we even get there? I don't even know.
Bezos.
Oh, Bezos. Yeah, the Bezos. I doubt he's going to run for any kind of public office. I think he wants zero to do with anything in government.
Why?
Because he's too smart. Typically smart people don't run for a fucking office anywhere. Or successful people, at least, either, too. Although there have been some exceptions. I guess technically Schwarzenegger was smart. Well, I don't know how smart he is, but he was successful, and he became governor of the Governator of California. Andrew Yang seems to be pretty fucking smart. I like him. He's running for mayor of New York. So, I don't know who else is running for mayor of New York, but...
Like, is de Blasio out, or...
Yeah, I think he's also hit his term limit, too.
Okay.
But even if he wasn't at his term limit, there's no fucking way he's winning again.
He sucks.
People hate him. Everyone in New York hates de Blasio just because he's a fucking clown. They were going after Cuomo the other day because I forget what exactly I saw in the article that I was reading. But you know how the whole thing, they were crucifying him a couple weeks ago because his administration came out and said they underrepresented the deaths in nursing homes by about 50%.
Yeah.
So they were coming out and they were crucifying him for that. And I guess what had happened was I think someone asked him about it, maybe at like a press conference or something.
I know what you're talking about.
And his reply was, who cares where they died?
Okay. So out of context, because the quote was something like, So it's still a bad look because he was trying to make the point of it doesn't matter which category you report them in, people have died.
Right.
So like, who cares where it came from?
Right.
They died.
Right.
So when you take the quote out of context, and he says, who cares? They died. It wasn't like that. It was more so along the lines of like, if I was to rephrase, and I don't know why the fuck I'm defending this idiot, it would be, it doesn't matter which category they came from, they're not coming back. Like these are like, they're deaths. Like, these people have died, and these, like, you know, it sucks, but the category really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And then you can crush them for that because, dude, you sent those people back to the nursing homes.
Right.
That's the fucking problem.
Right. And they underreported it.
Where they came from, no, you're right. It doesn't actually matter.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. Like, a death is a death. in my book. Except when you fucking single-handedly had control over one of those categories and you sent people back to the nursing home.
Right.
I mean, not physically, because I can't imagine he actually does anything.
No, probably not.
But he allowed them to go back to the nursing home.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was a little out of context with him, but he did also.
Yeah.
He also it was poorly phrased. He can still be crushed for it, but the "who cares they died." I did see that quote. That's out of context.
Yeah. Admittedly, I saw that as I was scrolling through Twitter, and I did not click on it. I just
Yeah, 'cause
saw
I listened
saw it
to
and
it.
continued scrolling.
Because when I saw "who cares they died" and I had a second, I'm like, what?
What did this dickhead say now?
What? How the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I saw it's like, oh, out of context.
Yeah. Oh, that makes a little bit more sense. Let me see. Do I want to go? I think I want to go to that for my final thought. So you got anything?
Yeah. What do we like for the Super Bowl? What are the hot takes?
Oh yeah, that's right, dude. I totally forgot. The Super Bowl is this week. Hot takes.
What do we got? What's the juicy fucking gossip for the Super Bowl?
Well, now that he's in it, I want Brady to win. I said it the whole time through the whole playoffs. I don't want Brady to get to the Super Bowl. I was rooting against him in every game, but now that he's here, I want him to win. And I've been consistent about that the whole time. I said that. I don't want him to get there, but if he does get there, then I'll root for him to win the Super Bowl. I want him to get 7. So I want the Bucks. I like the Bucks plus 2.5. Is it still 2.5 or is it moved?
So I took an oath not to check.
Yeah.
Because I fired Bucks money line on the night of the championship games.
Yeah.
And then I said I'm waiting until close to the game.
Yeah.
So I probably won't look again until Sunday.
So I fired off a teaser a while ago, like maybe last week at some point, because I got Bucks plus 10 and the over 49.5. So I threw a couple units on that.
56.5 total.
Yeah, it was a 6.5 point teaser. I
55.5 total.
I took the extra half point. 56, just 56.
Oh, yeah.
Because
you said 6.5, and I ignored the fact that you said 6.5.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
I took a half from where I wanted to take a half from. Nikos has some hot takes for the Super Bowl.
What do we got?
He talked to you. He's like, "Oh, I got to call in." I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm not doing this." He has. Fuck. How many times did he text me? He also texted me that some guy at Twin River wanted to lightning bet the first half.
Yeah.
First half over.
Yeah, I think you told me that. That's wild.
And then I have to explain to everyone what a lightning bet is. Because when Uncut Gems first came out, that was one of the things is he lightning bet one of the games.
Yeah.
And then people are like, what's a lightning bet? And I'm like, never mind.
Yeah. So for those of you that are listening, you plebes out there, plebes, however you say it, it's you bet a number, and then however much
So
it goes over.
I mean, the first half over is probably what, 23.5? No, 28? 56?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so the first half over is probably 28.
So for every point
If you do
it
100
goes over.
$100 lightning bet.
Yeah.
If it goes over, if they score 28, if they score 33, you win $500 and went 5 points over.
Yeah.
But if they only score 23, you lost $500 because
Yeah.
it's 5 points under. That's the lightning bet.
Right. It's however much it goes over or under is what the payout is.
Well, he has an adjusted over 68.
Jesus. That's wild.
That might have been a pleaser. And then I think he's got his cousin for MVP and Scotty Miller for MVP.
Wow. Legarius Sneed or Ladarius, whatever his name is. Legarius Sneed.
But yeah, he's calling Scotty Miller Chris Hogan with speed. No one covers him.
That is funny. What are the odds on Scotty Miller for MVP?
Couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, let me go to mybookie.com real quick and shout out to mybookie. Use our promo code SarcasmPod. They will match your first deposit up to 50%. So that is you deposit $1,000, they give you $500. So let me pull up the Super Bowl here on mybookie.com. The current line is Kansas City minus 3.5, but that's at a 115 juice. And the total is 56.5 as it stands right now. Let me look at the props here. Super Bowl props.
So if anyone wants the hot takes from the gym, the middle school kids are in the middle school athlete consensus is Chiefs by 2 touchdowns.
Oh God.
So if you want to fade the middle schoolers,
yeah. Ooh, I like the team total for the Bucks. It's 27. I think this has the potential to be a high scoring game, which means it's
would the over 56.5 maybe like link to that?
Yeah.
Here's the thing though. The Super Bowl is the hardest game of the year to bet, but it gets the most action.
Yeah.
So you can't just like, I genuinely feel like you cannot just like, outside of getting lucky, but it's like, oh, I feel like it's going to be this. It's like, well, if everybody feels like it's going to be that, you got to listen to what everybody thinks.
Yeah.
And the reason I fired that Bucks money line that night was because everyone was like, oh, Mahomes going to stomp the Bucks. Chiefs are going to roll. Chiefs are going to roll. Brady can't compete against that Chiefs team. No way. No way. No one's going to be able to stop them. And I'm like, all right, well, if everyone thinks that, it's not going to go that way.
Yeah. I love this. You can bet the exact total on points for each team. The total, let me see, 31 points for the Chiefs is 12-1 odds. The alternate team totals, these are great. There is so much that you can bet on in the Super Bowl.
Everything.
What do you think about the coin flip? Heads or tails?
I don't know. I don't bet the fucking coin flip.
I'm gonna say it's heads. I'm gonna say coin flip is
put your
gonna
money
be
where your
heads.
mouth is.
I
saved the coin flip from Michaela. She can't miss.
We got alternate team totals, first play of the game. Just give me the fucking MVP, the winning margin, including overtime. Will there be overtime? That's always a fun bet in the Super Bowl.
Will there? Oh, do they have the 2-point conversion prop? I guess I'll pull this out too. So we're gonna do the part of the show where me and you just look up gambling lines, and talk out loud like we're Mike Francesa.
Will the game go to overtime? Yes is plus 650, and no is minus 2400. Has there only been one overtime Super Bowl game?
Yep.
Yeah, the one the Pats were in.
Yep. That's it.
Team to score first. You can bet everything. I'm just trying to find the MVP.
I want to. If there's a prop in.
Oh, this is awesome.
To you and your various books, to the people out there. I'm actually talking back to the listeners, not just out loud. If you can find the 2-point conversion prop, I would absolutely take that.
Yeah.
Will there be a 2-point conversion?
This is a fun one. The number of plays in the first touchdown drive.
That's so bad.
1 or 2, 3 or 4, 5 or 6. So they're pairs of 2. The favorite here is 7 or 8 plays. It's plus 300. If you think it's going to be a long drive, it's going to be 13 to 15 plays. That's plus 850. 3 or 4 plays is plus 500. I like all these. Then you can bet on the first accepted penalty in the game. What is it going to be? A false start is plus 280. Holding is plus 275. You bet no penalties in the game. That's 100-1 odds. That's wild. No penalties in the game. Will there be a safety? Plus 600. No is minus 1400. I get the 2-point conversion right here. Will there be a successful 2-point conversion on mybookie.com? Yes is plus 140 and no is minus 240. So
I'm about to throw $5 on yes. What's that under?
Super Bowl props.
Yeah, no shit.
It's
Special props.
No, I just saw the thing and clicked props on the bottom corner. And it gives me all of them. There's 224 available props that you can bet on in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so I can probably find the one I need pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's about middle of the page. So you can bet the team to score last.
So hold on. Here's my question: are you under game props like that?
Yeah, I'm like all the way down here.
All right.
So successful 2-point conversion, yes, is plus 140. So who do you think wins the game? Like betting aside, who wins the game?
Oh, I have no idea. It's Super Bowl. That's why I bet the Bucks.
Yeah. I think the Chiefs are probably going to win.
Well, so the couple things at play here. Teams typically don't go back to back, so the Chiefs would have to do something special.
Yeah.
The Chiefs have the current better quarterback.
Yep.
But I would not rule out Brady to be able to do God knows what.
Right.
The other question that I have is the Tampa Bay defense I don't even want to count the fucking Washington game because fuck that. But against the Saints and against the Packers, they have absolutely overachieved.
Yeah.
Completely overachieved. Can they continue it? Their run defense is good.
Yeah.
They've been best in the league the last 2 years.
Yeah. But, I mean, the Chiefs aren't going to kill you running the ball. They're going to kill you through the air.
So, the other thing, too, is they play a 3-4. Can you take one of those linebackers off, which all four of those linebackers are good.
Right.
Can you take one of them off? Or can one of them move to D? Like, can JPP play a 3-4 D end or a 3-3 D end and get another D back on the field? Because I don't know, like, defensively how they're gonna.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? The other thing is Todd Bowles loves blitzing. Patrick Mahomes is incredible against the blitz.
Yep.
I saw a thing about QBR since 2018. Mm-hmm. The best QBR in the league is Patrick Mahomes. The second best QBR in the league is Patrick Mahomes against the blitz. And then third is Aaron Rodgers.
That's hilarious.
So Patrick Mahomes is the best QBR, has the best QBR in the league since he's been a starter. Mm-hmm. And then him against the blitz is the second highest QBR in the league.
Yeah.
Then it's Aaron Rodgers. So I don't know defensively if the Bucks have just overachieved and we have to have a correction at some point, or if they've fucking figured it out.
Yeah.
Devin White is nasty. Levante David is good. Shaq Barrett is good.
Their front seven is arguably the best in the league.
But I don't
put it up there with the Rams. Like, trying to
their linebackers are way better than the Rams, though.
Yeah.
The Rams just have two great D tackles.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And this is the hardest part about picking the Super Bowl. It's the two best teams. Anything fucking happens. It really does.
Right.
So I'm trying just to like ultimately my pick is going to come down to whatever's the most unpopular pick.
Yeah.
And that's probably what's going to be what happens.
Yeah.
Brady's going to keep them around. He's probably not going to make the mistakes like he did against New Orleans.
Or I'm like he did against the Packers. He threw 3 picks in that game.
Yeah, and they got bailed out. Wait, was that all the jump balls? Was it the Saints or the Packers or both?
Could have been both.
How many picks did he? I don't remember how many picks he threw against the Saints.
Yeah.
But I just am curious if the Tampa defense can hold up. The other thing, too, is those linebackers are going to have to fucking biff Kelsey off the line. If they're just going to let him free release, that game is over.
Stupid.
That game is over.
That was the Packers. Brady was 18 for 33, 199, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks against the Saints. Drew Brees threw 3 picks in that game. And at one point got replaced by Jameis Winston. Because Jameis Winston has Jameis came in and threw the touchdown. That's what it was. Because he has a one for 1 for 56 yards and 1 touchdown. So yeah, it was the Green Bay game where Tom Brady threw 3 interceptions. Yep. 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. So he's got to not do that. because Kansas City's offense is significantly better than Green Bay's offense. And if you turn the ball over 3 times, so in the 3 turnovers that Green Bay got, they got maybe 3 points out of it. There were two picks. I don't remember the third pick that Brady threw, but 2 of the picks I do remember. And Green Bay went 3 and out both times, I think.
Yes.
And got 0 points off of either of those. I'll tell you what, Kansas City ain't going to do that. If you give them the ball, they're gonna. If you give them the ball 3 times, they're gonna score at least 1 touchdown. So they're gonna come away with at least 7 points out of that. Most likely, they're probably gonna score 2 touchdowns, maybe 2 touchdowns and a field goal. You know, like if we're being real, like Kansas City's offense is fucking unbelievable. It's almost like video game, like unfair. Because you just have, like, everyone just runs a fucking 4-3. And then you have Travis Kelce that is just, he was like Gronk in 2016.
They did struggle, though, during the regular season. And they struggled slightly against the Browns. Mahomes did get knocked out of that game.
You know who they struggled terribly against? The Patriots. The Patriots almost beat them with Brian Hoyer.
Yeah.
If the Patriots had a competent quarterback, they beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, they lost the Raiders, struggled again, struggled against the Chargers. Like,
yeah,
they're beatable. I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like Mahomes is just too good.
Yeah. Well, the key is definitely Kelce, because you can't just let him run around and do whatever he wants.
No, I can't imagine they're going to look at. Because you have to look at old Patriots game film, because they're the only team that's actually held that team somewhat in check.
Right.
And it's always Dante Hightower fucking crushing Kelce off the line. And Kelce hates that shit.
And I do have a little bit of faith in Antoine Winfield. Like I like the safeties for the Bucs. Or Antoine Winfield Jr. technically, because I remember when Antoine Winfield Sr. was in the NFL. But Winfield can fucking lay the wood. So if Kelce goes over the middle or catches like a quick little dig or like a hitch, and Winfield comes flying from the safety spot and lights him up, like that could be a little bit of a deterrent too for Kelce there. You know, make him start hearing footsteps. You know, you get a little nervous going over the middle because he doesn't like getting hit. So
no, he doesn't.
All it takes is a couple big hits on him, and maybe he starts to think twice about going over the middle, or drops a catch because he hears footsteps or something like that. But you have to play him physical. The Tampa Bay defense has to fucking come to play, because the Kansas City defense is not that good. They are ranked last in the league in red zone defense. So
I don't think the game goes over, dude. Honestly, that's the other part.
Yeah. Well, it's because everyone thinks it's going to go over.
Yeah.
Which makes me think it's going to go under.
And that's the thing, though. So this was the highest total since the Pats-Rams total, which was 56, and then they scored 16 points.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to bet that or not, but we'll see.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, I have it in the teaser. I would hope it goes over 49, but even then, who knows?
So the thing with NFL teasers, though, the number, like NFL teasers on the total, I guess statistically, which is something I found out fairly recently, statistically, NFL teasers on the total don't matter. A game typically either goes over by more than 7, or I'm sorry, 6, because 6 is standard.
Right.
It either goes over by more than 6 or stays under by more than 6.
Yeah.
Statistically.
Yeah.
Which, again, in sports betting, statistically could be fucking 58% of the time.
Right.
So then someone's like, what do you mean? I like all the time it goes on. It's like, yeah, again, 58% of the time, which is profitable.
Right.
The teaser doesn't matter.
Right. Right.
Who knows?
Yeah. You want to start wrapping this up?
We can wrap this up.
All right.
So I'm not going to eulogize these guys, but I would like to give out an RIP to the careers of 4 players in particular.
Yeah.
As I alluded to in the last show, someone put the bug in my ear about sports cards.
Yep.
And I've bought a few in the last few days. So, officially, RIP, Cam Akers, Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Oh, you got to bet Tampa Bay now to win the game. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to blow out his knee in the Super Bowl. He's going to get a Willis McGahee in the Super Bowl.
He's going to die.
Yeah.
He's going to get struck by lightning. Jalen Hurts and J.K. Dobbins. R.I.P. to those guys. I'm sorry. I didn't really mean to end your careers like this.
Yeah, so Jalen Hurts. So the Eagles are going to keep Wentz. And they're
already talking about keeping Wentz.
They're going to let Hurts rot on the bench.
Yeah. So the way I look at it, Cam Akers, J.K. Dobbins, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, they all showed something this year.
Yeah.
They all showed that they could be pretty good. Now, they're all running backs.
Yeah.
So the way I look at it is if I don't unload them next year, I maybe have year 3. If I don't unload them by year 3, they're lost. Like they are lost, and maybe they put up some fantasy numbers, so a couple people randomly like them, and I can make like my $8 back because that's all. It's all I've really put into, like $8 to $10 on most of these cards.
Yeah.
Jersey, rookie, prism, whatever the fuck. Too many of them.
Oh, there's not orange laser.
It's not orange, laser, disco, no huddle.
Yeah.
Numbered, whatever.
I looked at this the other day and I was like, holy shit. There's like, what is it?
So
there's blue cracked ice, red cracked ice,
prism,
orange disco, blue disco.
In my searches so far, the prism cards, I've seen orange disco, orange laser. I don't know if no huddle is different amongst those, but I've also seen orange disco, no huddle. I don't know if that's different. I've seen red, white, and blue, red cracked ice, blue cracked ice, silver, black and white, green.
There's a green disco or green cracked ice. There was one of them. There was a Justin Herbert green something that was like $1,000.
Yep.
Whether it was green disco or I don't know. There's my head was spinning.
And that's just prism.
Yeah.
That doesn't even include, and Panini makes prism. That doesn't even include like Panini Absolute or Panini Donruss or Panini Donruss Optic. Like, it is crazy out there.
That's fucking
the amount of fucking cards. So if these guys don't die and I didn't curse their careers, then the card market is going to collapse. That's what's going to happen. It's one or the other. So if you're a collector, RIP. If you're one of these players, RIP. One of them, it's one or the other.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that my plan will work out. But also Hurts is like a longer term thing. Because the way I look at at Jalen Hurts is they're probably going to keep Carson Wentz this year because he's too expensive and too much dead money.
And they'll get rid of him after next year.
They might get rid of him after next year, or someone might come in and give the bag for Hurts. And then I feel like Hurts showed enough this year to be a starter in the NFL.
Yeah.
I feel like he's just a better Taysom Hill.
Yes, I would 1,000%.
Taysom Hill is probably going to be starting next year.
Yeah.
So
he's kind of like he's along the lines of a Lamar Jackson, but it looks like Hurts can actually throw a little bit.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what would be a decent comparison because I would say early Cam Newton, but I think he might throw it a little bit better. He's not as big.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because that is the other thing about Hurts. He's a little smaller. He's maybe only like 6'1", 6'2".
Yeah, he's something like that, like 6'2".
Because I think Lamar Jackson's bigger. I think he's like 6'3", 6'4", maybe.
Probably.
He's probably closer to Cam Newton, like early Cam Newton.
Well, but he doesn't run the same way.
Right.
Cam runs hard.
Right.
Lamar Jackson is fast.
Well, it's because Cam is fucking huge.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. But like Hurts runs the same. Like they run like running backs.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson runs like a receiver.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the rodeo clown.
Like open field.
Yeah.
Like he's like a punt. He runs like a more of a punt returner.
Yep.
Whereas Cam and Jalen Hurts would run more like a kick returner.
Yeah.
So, I think Hurts will get a chance somehow, some way. So that might be a longer term hold. But either way, all this stuff I can do worse with fucking $8 to $10 a card.
Yeah. I've spent $10 in worse ways.
That's what I mean. Because I had the kids had mentioned it because I think like my email was up and Chris was like, oh, J.K. Dobbins. I'm like, dude, it's $10 fucking dollars.
Yeah.
What the or $8? J.K. Dobbins was like $8.
Yeah.
Shipped.
Yeah.
It's like what?
Yeah,
what?
$8 with including shipping.
Yeah. It's like, what do you mean? Like, what's the worst that happens?
Yeah.
It's not worth anything. Oh, well.
Cool. It was $8.
It was $8.
Yeah.
I'd be more pissed if I spent fucking $4.50 on a box and the best rookie card I ended up with was a fucking Josh Uche auto.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be more pissed about that.
Yeah. It would be kind of interesting to look like on the defensive side of like the rookies this year to try and see like who potentially could pop.
So the problem with defensive players, they are not nearly as popular.
Right.
They don't score. There's no fantasy.
Yeah.
If you gotta Chase Young now, I don't even know what his market looks like.
Yeah.
If you need DPOI, like that's the only way that his value is gonna go up from here.
Yeah.
He has to get Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
And then when he gets one, if you don't unload it, then you really he needs to get more. Like he needs to get more. Like it just becomes that, or he has to like win the sack crown. Like it's really hard for defensive players. Like
it's got to be like a D lineman or a linebacker. Like you can't really go with the safety.
No, you can't go with like a corner, a safety. Like even
like even back in the day, like Nnamdi Asomugha, like that's not, he had like a couple good years and that's it. You know what I mean? Like in that, even then I can't imagine people were trading his card.
People were, because there weren't that many of them.
Oh yeah.
I think he was like 03.
Yeah.
There weren't many of them, so they became rare, and he was so good. Mm-hmm. Like it's like at one point, Jonathan Quick's rookie card was incredible because he only had 3. So like he was trading for like $350.
Wow.
Back when they won the first Stanley Cup, I think.
Yeah.
So you have to just it's hot. I mean, honestly, it's just like another form of gambling.
Right.
That's all this is you're trying to make an educated decision based off what happens. So it's like, I know Akers, the Rams like to run the ball. Dobbins, the Ravens like to run the ball. Those are probably going to be the guys.
Right. Right.
Hurts looked good enough to start in the NFL.
Right.
But there's that cloud over him. Like, we don't know if he's going to start next year.
Right.
Now, on the flip side, I've been hearing about Jacob Eason.
Yeah.
I would not fucking invest in Jacob Eason because you still have to pay like something to get his cards. Like they're not like $1.
Mm-hmm. Where does he even play? Is he on the Colts?
He got drafted by the Colts.
Yeah.
I don't even like, he might not start next year. Right. He might not start ever.
Right.
And I was listening, and someone, like one of the kids was talking to me. He's like, I was listening to a guy and, you know, he's trying to like stash a bunch of Jacob Eason. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Whoever that guy is.
Yeah.
Might be stashing a bunch of Jacob Eason because he's making his money on other shit.
Right.
And like stash the Jacob Eason just in case. But, and he's like, yeah, well, if he gets traded somewhere, he'll start there. I'm like, oh, so you just described AJ McCarron and Matt Flynn?
I was literally just going to say like AJ McCarron.
That's what Jacob Eason sounds like to me.
Yeah.
That is not worth.
Well, AJ McCarron's your future Patriots quarterback.
Jesus Christ. Not worth it.
That's who we're going to get. Next year, AJ McCarron, T.Y. Hilton, Sonny Michael.
They'll be unstoppable.
Yeah. And Jacoby Myers. So that's it's interesting. Like I said, I went on eBay just to kind of look at the cards the other night, and my head was fucking spinning with how many that exists.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's something I've done in the past, so it was a little hard for me to grasp at first, and it still is. Like, there's so many fucking cards. So it's like I've just narrowed it down to either Prism or the Optic. I think Donruss does the Optic. Mm-hmm. Those seem to be probably like the most valuable at this point.
Yeah.
And if they're not, then it's just the simplest fucking way for me to do it.
All right. So my final thought is some news that kind of, I don't want to say hits close to home because it's not. It's not like I know this fucking person, but I've always been a big fan, and I've been very open about being a fan. But at the same time, not surprised. So recently in the news, Evan Rachel Wood, who is a female, despite what the name might give off. Evan Rachel Wood is a former girlfriend to none other than Marilyn Manson. She came out recently and accused Marilyn Manson of being abusive. So now Marilyn Manson has been dropped by his record label. People are going after him. People are saying he's a terrible, awful human being. And I have been a fan of Marilyn Manson for a very long time. It also turns out that when Spotify did the 2020 Wrapped, my number one artist I listened to in 2020 was Marilyn Manson. Go figure. To which I say, are you surprised? Are you really surprised that Marilyn Manson's not a good person?
That guy's nuts.
Like, have you looked at him? Has all of these people that are like, oh my God, Marilyn Manson, he's such a bad person. Did you think he was a good guy? Have you seen pictures of him? Like, are you really surprised? You're really blown away that Marilyn Manson abused his girlfriend and is a bad person.
Can't believe it.
Wow. Yeah. No, I can't believe it. He always portrayed himself as such a good guy, as such a hero. Like, come on. Like, I don't understand. I'm pretty sure too he's said in interviews before, because I've heard people talk about it just in the last day or two on other podcasts. And someone said, like, yeah, he's come out in interviews in the past and like admitted to abusing people and women. And like everyone just kind of like didn't do anything about it. But now all of a sudden, like, it's in the news because it's recent. And now everyone wants to cancel Marilyn Manson.
I mean, if you cancel Marilyn Manson at this point, will anyone notice?
No, just me. Only me.
But even then, it's like, you can like his music, but it's not going to affect you that much.
Right. No, exactly. And it's what I say all the time, like, be able to separate, the person from their whatever they produce, whether it's like OJ Simpson or Michael Jackson or any of those people. Like, you're allowed to like what they did in their profession, but then hate them for who they are as people.
Well, the other part too is if tomorrow you never had to listen, or you never got to listen to another Marilyn Manson song, would you care? No. Would your life be any different?
Nope. I would just have other songs on my gym playlist.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is like, oh, we have to cancel Marilyn Manson, dude. He is not relevant anymore.
Yeah. What is this? 2004?
Like, that's the thing.
He hasn't been relevant since 2004.
Yeah. Don't condone what he did.
Yeah.
Don't defend the guy, but like, sure, you know what? Spend all your effort trying to cancel him. He basically has canceled himself by being fucking old.
Yeah.
And the industry has basically canceled him because no one listens to that type of music anymore.
Right.
Rock's not like that at all.
No.
Will he go on tour? Don't buy tickets.
Yeah.
Don't buy tickets. And that's the thing. People are there's gonna be people who don't care. There's gonna be people, whatever. Make it known that he's a fucking piece of shit, and then it'll take care of itself.
Yeah, I mean,
people won't go see him on tour because he sucks.
But all you have to do is like take a look at him. Like, look at any picture. Like, go to the Google machine, type in Marilyn Manson, and like any picture that pops up is going to be like, oh wow, that guy's fucking weird. Oh, that guy's he looks like he's kind of fucking like a bad guy, huh?
What's the next breaking news? That someone's going to come out and say he struggled with mental health?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like,
I don't know how. How did he struggle with mental health?
Yeah. Have you listened to any of his songs? Like, one of his songs is I don't like drugs, the drugs like me. Like, come on.
And the other thing with him though, and he's kind of admitted to like the whole thing being a little bit of a persona, which is fine.
Right.
But what the fuck is happening between the ears to create that?
Right.
And buy into that.
And eventually
and live in that.
If you spend enough time being a character, you eventually kind of turn into that character. Ask Johnny Depp. How's Johnny Depp doing now? Like, he's
going around like
he lives his life like he's fucking Jack Sparrow. Like, you have these guys that like play a character for so long, and then you become that. You start to take on the qualities of that. The Undertaker talked about it in his interview with Joe Rogan. He goes, yeah, like I felt the need that I had to be that guy because it's who I was. It was my persona. Like, and he goes, imagine these people that watch me every night on TV as I'm the Prince of Darkness, and then they see me at a steakhouse and I'm wearing a jean jacket and some fucking Wranglers and a bandana. They're going to be like, that's not the Undertaker.
Until it was.
Right. Yeah. But he was like, anytime I went out anywhere, I would wear black. I would sit in a corner and I wouldn't talk to anybody. I would say the fewest words possible. And he goes, I became the Undertaker. He did it for 30 fucking years.
Yeah.
Now, granted, towards the end of his career, he was able to be Mark Calloway more. But that's what he said. And he goes, at my peak, if I go out, I have to be the Undertaker. I can't be Mark Calloway because people don't want Mark Calloway. They want the Undertaker. So it's like one of those things where like Marilyn Manson is portraying this character of Marilyn Manson. Like what's it? I think his name is like Ben something, like his real name, whatever is Ben fucking Williamson. I don't know. But like people don't want Ben Williamson. People want Marilyn Manson. So eventually over time, like you're going to start to take on that shit. And it's like, it's just normal. It's what happens. Like I said, it's Johnny Depp. It's any of these guys. Find any guy that plays one character for a really long fucking time. Hugh Jackman. He's the fucking Wolverine now. Like that's it. Like he is the Wolverine. Like, I mean, he tried to break that by doing the complete opposite and becoming a Broadway musical person, which is about as far opposite on the spectrum as you can get from Wolverine. But now people are like, oh, dude, Wolverine's on Broadway. That didn't even work. Yeah.
Why is Wolverine sitting on that stage?
Yeah. And it's like,
why is Wolverine speaking with an Australian accent?
It's like you play a character for long enough and it's like you just become that character. Like there's a few people that were that previously, like Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. Like Robert Downey Jr. was Tony Stark, like in real life. Like he was a absolute millionaire. I mean, he wasn't a inventor genius, but he was an absolute millionaire that blew all his money on drugs and cocaine and strippers. Like he had an epic meltdown. He was Charlie Sheen before Charlie Sheen in like 2002. So, but there's other things where you, like I said, you just take on that character that you play. So yeah, I'm not surprised that Marilyn Manson is a bad person. You're not, there's nothing you can tell me that Marilyn Manson did that I'm going to be surprised with. You could tell me that he's like got a bunch of left hands stapled to the wall of his basement. And I'd be like, yeah, probably. Yeah. My response would be like, yeah, no shit. Like I expect that. Oh, Marilyn Manson is an abusive person. Yeah, I know. Have you listened to his music? So I just thought that was a big story, and I was surprised that other people were surprised.
Yeah, how could he?
Yeah, like he's been this bastion of like peace for 20 years or however long he's been doing it. He's probably 25 years at this point. How old is he?
52.
He's 52.
Yep.
Yeah, so he's got to have been doing it for at least 30 years at this point. So come on, grow up. Well, that's going to do it for us. So thank you for watching on YouTube. Make sure you click the like button and subscribe. Tell everybody you know about the show. Subscribe wherever you're listening. We're on all forms of podcast streaming services and all that fun stuff. If you're on the iTunes store, if you're an Apple guy or woman. Sorry, I didn't mean to assume your gender. Go to the Apple store and rate us 5 stars and write a little review in there. It helps our rankings and the podcast ranking systems. You can find us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. We're on Twitter at Sarcasm_speaks. And our Facebook page is Sarcasm Speaks. I think that's all of it. So until next time, good night, everybody.